Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. As far as XRP is concerned, I personally believe that the best is yet to come and that 2021, this lovely year, which is a little bit less of a dumpster fire than 2020 so far, might have jinxed it. I believe that 2021 will be the year of XRP. Little asterisks next to that comment, though. Unless this market cycle goes longer than many are expecting it to and drags into 2022. But even then, I still firmly believe that XRP is moving in tandem with Bitcoin and the rest of the market. And so I want to try in this video to paint a picture of a few things of what's actually going on here and just how incredible it is to be part of this cryptocurrency journey. It's truly historic. 100 years from now, people will be writing about this and wishing they had the opportunity, even if not to live in our time, because, I mean, let's be real, even just a year ago, we had a toilet paper crisis. But outside of that, just they would love to have lived in this time purely for the opportunity to witness the advent of this cryptocurrency technology, to have an opportunity to invest in this emerging asset class, which is growing faster than any other asset class ever has in the history of mankind. And again, XRP is moving with that. So I want to illustrate that point as well as just hopefully bring home sufficiently and succinctly the point that XRP, it is going to have its day in the sun. And if you just understand how XRP has performed and what it looked like on charts over its roughly 8-year history, then I think you'll get the point that the way it's behaving right now shouldn't be surprising to anybody. So the people that are uninformed, I could see how it might seem odd sometimes. And to the Bitcoin maxi trolls out there that want to paint a narrative that isn't in line with reality, I can understand why people would speak out against XRP if that's what they're trying to do also. But for people that are doing their best to just take in data, interpret it, and think rationally what that might mean for the future, I think you're going to come to a different conclusion. Now, I do want to be clear that I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And so you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm nothing more than an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos as a hobby on the topics of XRP and Ripple and crypto in general. That is indeed all that it is. Now, as I record this, XRP is at 57.2 cents. Bitcoin is at $55,508. You've got the market cap for the asset class at $1.74 trillion, and Bitcoin dominates on a slight decline of late. It's at 59.4%. You just wait till altcoins take off. That is going to drop like a rock, which by the way, does not mean that Bitcoin price won't appreciate. The price of Bitcoin can appreciate if the dominance decreases while that's happening. It just means that altcoins are outperforming it, growing much faster. And given that Bitcoin's already had a huge run-up, I mean, just compare it to a year ago, it was in March last year, in the $3,000, $3,800 range, whatever it was, and now it's at, again, $55,000 as I record this. There's a lot of room for XRP and other cryptocurrencies to run because they're so far from their previous cycle highs, just from the very last market cycle. And so for someone like me that doesn't want to overcomplicate stuff, and I won't, I'll keep things as simple as possible. For me, part of the reason this is so easy and part of the reason I am able to not let my emotions get in the way is because I am armed with knowledge. I'm also armed with the information about how humans behave. I've made myself informed of how humans behave in terms of buying and selling habits. But just knowing that XRP provably is moving with the rest of the market, and it has for 8 years, I sleep easy. For me, it really is that simple. XRP moves in tandem with the market, and people are idiots with money. Me knowing that, hey, sleeping great. Not a care in the world. All right, and I get it, and I'm not pretending like there's no risk to this. It's a highly volatile asset class, and people get wrecked all the time. I think most people get wrecked though. They have a couple things. They can buy a media narrative. They can FOMO in at cycle highs. They can emotionally panic sell, and they can be short-term thinkers, and then you get wrecked. But for people that are long-term thinkers and maybe prepared before run-ups for a lot of cryptocurrency, to me, there's just a ton of opportunity here. And so Binance, the largest cryptocurrency exchange on the planet by volume, they tweeted the following out. And look at your screen. Normally, like for my videos, I know most people treat it like a podcast. That's what I do when I listen to crypto and XRP YouTubers. Like almost 100% of the time, I'm usually like walking my dog or doing chores or driving, whatever it may be. And so that's the case for this channel too. But if you're in a position where you can look at your screen, I encourage you to take a gander here. So Binance tweeted out the following with an image. 8 years ago today, the total crypto market cap reached $1 billion for the first time ever. Today, the total crypto market cap is sitting at $1.8 trillion, according to CoinMarketCap. 1,800 times higher. Think about that. 8 years ago, hit $1 billion today, March 28th, $1 billion market cap for the entire asset class for the first time. You know, now you're barely even a large cap coin if you have that, you know, like seriously. And so just think about it, from 1 billion 8 years ago to 1.8 trillion. And so if you look here, and I cited this when we were, right after we went through what I'm circling here, which is the last market cycle here. You know, as we were going down, so maybe this would be roughly 2018, 2019 area in here when things were much lower than what they were at. And this massive formation on the chart, it really looked gigantic. And I said, look, just give it enough time, and that is going to look really small on a chart. And so you can see back here when 8 years ago, the crypto asset class hit $1 billion, March 28th, 2013. This is what it looks like. Can you see this little bump here? Now, if we zoomed in, it would look gigantic, but it's just a little bump there. And so this is going to look like just a little bump. And it's funny, now that we're seeing Bitcoin rally up, this is looking a lot smaller than it did if I showed you this chart a year ago, isn't it? It's looking pretty small relatively. And so where we are right now, well, if Bitcoin keeps going up, now maybe it'll be up here where I'm circling where the chart doesn't continue to, but you get what I'm saying, right? Maybe it's up here, or maybe it's way, way up here in my search bar. See what I'm saying? So this is going to look like nothing. And so I know that. I firmly believe that. And so I retweeted that and wrote the following. Amazing growth from $1 billion total crypto market cap to $1.8 trillion in 8 years. But even today's market cap will look like peanuts in a decade. This is just the beginning. And so I do firmly believe if you fast forward a decade, this market cycle that we're going through now, which is already dwarfing the last one, the one that we're going through now, that's going to look very small on a chart. It's going to look like nothing. So for someone like me, I'm just super long term. I've never cashed any of my crypto out into USD, but I will be. I have every intention to anyway. This market cycle, as things heat up, things just aren't where I want them to be yet in order to kind of make that shift. You know, I've also never sold a single XRP, but if this goes the way that I think and hope it will, then I'll be selling a ton of it at much higher prices, ideally, right? And so I wanted to highlight this too. Yesterday, I put out a video and I highlighted chart analyst Love Crypto, and he cited the following, which is awesome. A floor of $8.50. Check out what he wrote for XRP. Struggling to find anything bearish about this chart. Once XRP completes that 3+ year rounded bottom and finally breaks 80 cents, make way for much higher prices. There will be plenty of volatility along the way, as well as FUD and very sharp price declines. $8.50 plus is programmed. And so when I covered that yesterday, I said, now look, I don't think he's trying to say that literally there's something in the code or some sort of trickery from high up people that's making $8.50 happen. Of course not. I said it's open markets. I've been following for some time. He's a level-headed guy. But he actually ended up clarifying this further because somebody named Kyle asked him, what do you mean by programmed? And he wrote, I just mean inevitable, as in a high probability target on the monthly chart, not before end of year, in my opinion. Of course, nothing is programmed. The markets can do whatever they want, and probabilities don't always go in our favor. Exactly. And so the floor, though, of $8.50 does not sound nutty to me at all. It sounds like a fantastic opportunity in my humble opinion, because XRP is sitting around 55 cents. That's a massive increase. And he thinks they're going to be at least at $8.50. He thinks it's more likely we'll be going to $20 to $30 range, which Credible Crypto agrees with. And he even chimed in on a previous Love Crypto tweet on that topic, so I know that he firmly believes that. I've highlighted it on the channel. Somebody also, just a couple hours ago, asked Credible Crypto, what do you think about XRP getting to $1 in the next 2 weeks? Credible Crypto responded, probably not in the next 2 weeks, but soon. And so he seems kind of in line with what Love Crypto was saying, and I highlighted this yesterday just in case anybody missed this. Love Crypto was calling for, I think he may have said maybe whether it's a month or 6 weeks or whatever it is, somewhere thereabout, not long from now, he could definitely see a path forward to XRP breaking $1.20. So I covered the specifics in that video yesterday, but I would not mind that. That's substantially higher than where we are now, and I think it's going to do a lot for the mindset of the XRP community once we finally do that, because I'll tell you, we're dealing with an artificially suppressed XRP price to some degree, I believe, because of the SEC versus Ripple news. But once that's all cleared up, which I do believe will happen, things will be looking much more rosy. But even with that cloud hanging over us all, I still think that XRP is going to rally, because people don't care about fundamentals, and most of the planet that's trading XRP is outside of the United States and hasn't been impacted by haltings of XRP on exchanges or anything this or that. It's going to keep happening. And so when people see something go, all of the useful idiots out there, as I half-jokingly call them, when they see a green candle, oh my gosh, but my thing's not going up, and then they're just going to throw their money into it, which is the exact wrong thing to do, for me at least. I would never do that. I'm not going to chase a green candle, and I'm not going to panic sell either. But that's what people do. And so they're not going to know a damn thing about XRP. Fundamentals don't care to these people, because there's a frenzy here, there's euphoria, or at least the euphoria is coming, and just the money will pour in. That's just how humans historically have behaved, and given that the whole market's provably moving in tandem, I don't think that it's matured to the point where people are going to behave any different specifically with XRP. There's no data to make me think that would be a rational position to take. And take a look at this too. This is a really interesting article by the Daily Hodl, and they covered some stuff from Peter Brandt, who is one of the most famous chart analysts in all of crypto. He does hate Ripple, he does hate XRP, and he puts out all sorts of nonsense about it, calling XRP a scam coin, this or that. And so I try to look past that, because I do believe he's a legitimately good chart analyst, and he's been doing this for decades. He's had a best-selling book on Amazon. He's got something like 450,000 followers on Twitter, deservedly so. And so I try and look past that, because if somebody has ideas that are different than mine, that doesn't make them my enemy. I just think they're wrong. So hopefully such an individual would feel the same and be adult enough to recognize it, just because I don't share the same thoughts on Ripple and XRP, that I am not suddenly the enemy. But for some people, many in the Bitcoin community, I am the enemy, and you are too if you like XRP. You're the enemy. That's how they view it. It really is. So I'm not going to behave like that, though. And so I give Peter Brandt all the credit in the world for that, and then I'm going to critique his idea, not him the person. I'm going to critique his ideas and thoughts about Ripple and XRP, which I've been doing on this channel, not to take away from his actual legitimate talent and following that he has built up and has earned over many, many, many years. And he's famous for a number of things, including the fact that he called the Bitcoin top during the last market cycle towards the end of 2017. He also called the bottom of the Bitcoin market cycle December 15th, 2018, about 1 year later. He called both of them just about perfectly. And so the check out what he had to say here, and I'm going to start at the top of this article, but there's some really fascinating quotes from in here. Trading veteran and chart guru Peter Brandt is predicting a massive Bitcoin explosion before this year expires. In a new interview on Real Vision Finance, Brandt says Bitcoin could erupt nearly 260% from its current price of $56,000. According to the veteran analyst, the current logarithmic charts look like they did during the 2017 bull market, just before Bitcoin's big move upward. And to be clear to anybody, because I know there's new people joining my channel left and right, jumping into crypto for the first time ever, it's very important to understand that XRP, and I know I said I want to really bring this point home, XRP absolutely is following the price action of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin continues to go up, that just represents more opportunity for altcoins, in my unprofessional opinion. That is exactly what I think. Also worth noting, XRP, it trades sideways longer than other large cap coins, longer than any other top 10 cryptocurrency. I think that's provably true. And so if you look at this, what I'm highlighting now, just to go back to this Binance tweet, because the chart's right here. This is the 2017 early 2017 cycle right here. So the climb up, and then the bubble popped, because it was a bubble and it popped. Well, you can see roughly here, I know that this climb right here that I'm stroking with this little mouse pointer right here, that started, this would be about, right here would be January 2017. And so from here, this very bottom, up to about here, that would take you from January to November 2017. And then in a matter of 4 weeks, you went from here to all the way up to the top. So you went from about $10,000 to $20,000 Bitcoin in about 4 weeks. So what's interesting with XRP, It did have a pop in March where XRP went up to like 40 cents, and then from that point on till mid December of 2017, XRP just traded sideways. So for most of the time, while Bitcoin was climbing up here, where I'm stroking it again here, that's a fun way to say that. Giggity. While that was happening, XRP again more or less trading sideways. But then when it got to this point, Bitcoin started going parabolic, and just a little bit after that, into mid-December, it just rocketed up. So it had its biggest parabolic move in 2.5 weeks, whereas Bitcoin, it had its biggest portion over about four weeks. But take into account the fact that it had a crazy climb from January up until November of 2017, and really Bitcoin's whole move took basically a year, just about, whereas XRP did the vast majority of what it did in 2.5 weeks. And so it does behave differently. So the longer a cryptocurrency consolidates, when it goes, the more likely it is to really go, which is why if you don't have exposure to XRP when it happens, you're going to have a bad time. So do what you want to do. I'm not telling you to buy or sell or hold. I'm just speaking in generalities here. But that's why, for me, I don't try and time XRP markets. Whenever it goes, and it'll be a small percentage of days. So imagine 2.5 weeks, roughly, is how long XRP ran last market cycle, from 20-something cents to almost $4. And then imagine that it takes years to get to that point. So you're talking over 1,000 days of negative price action or sideways trading, vast majority of it, just to get 17 days out of over 1,000, which are negative, just to get 17 days where it goes parabolic. And so for me, that's where patience is key, just being aware of this data. Because if I didn't know that, if I didn't understand market cycles, and I didn't know better than to chase green candles, and I didn't know better than to panic sell, I would have been wrecked. And so I've been through all of this volatility since November of 2017 without holding a single XRP. I believe that's what's going to allow me to have the tremendous payoff. Just having that mindset, having that understanding, and then enforcing it. But if I were emotionally responding to this, I couldn't do it. But I don't emotionally respond because I feel like I'm sufficiently armed with information. I have strong conviction on what I'm citing here. And if I'm wrong, fine, I deserve to lose everything, and maybe I will. But I don't believe that's going to be the case. So here's what Peter Brandt had to say, though. I think we're in that midpoint pause where in 2017, Bitcoin swirled around for a month or two before we saw the final move up. And you'll note that the midpoint in the 2015 to 2017 bull market was at about 1/2 or 60% of the total move. If that's true, that points to the type of price level. That $200,000 plus is where this market would take us if this chart interpretation is correct. Now, that would be something, if he is right, I don't even know what to say, because then I always think about what Blockchain Backer's talking about, and he's just been scarily accurate. Like, Blockchain Backer's awesome, and he's calling for 70 to 80,000 top, and then you got Peter Brandt, who did nail, I know it, the last market cycle, and he's saying, it looks like we could be seeing $200,000 plus. And look, I would like to see $200,000 plus. Blockchain Backer would like to see that. Peter Brandt would like to see that. I'm sure you'd like to see that. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know who will end up being right here. But, man, if that happens, I think that you could see potentially a longer market cycle than what people are calling for right now. And that's an if. And you could also see price levels for altcoins go substantially higher than what people are calling for. And again, it's still just an if. I'm not convinced that's going to be the case, but the concept is on my radar. Now the piece continues. Brandt also asserts that Bitcoin's price action is unprecedented, adding that anyone who is paying attention to the asset's meteoric rise is witnessing history in the making. And check out this quote to wrap up the video. If somebody would have told me that there would be a market during my lifetime that would not only experience a parabolic advance, but experience 4 parabolic advances, not just on an arithmetic scale, but on a log scale, I would have bet my life against it. This is just unbelievable. People get caught up in the daily motion and the daily moment of Bitcoin without realizing we're seeing a market advance unlike anything we've really seen before. To have 4 parabolic advances on a log scale in the course of a 10-year period is just unheard of. I would challenge anybody to find a price chart of any asset or any commodity that has gone through this. So we're really witnessing history. This is history in the making. This is something that history books will be written on. As a trader, it's just unbelievable that I can participate in a market that is going through a situation like this. This is just spectacular. This is a spectacular ride, and everybody that's involved in Bitcoin can know they're really taking part in history. And indeed, that's why I was saying that we're in a crucial point in history. This technology indeed is not going away, my friends. Oh, it's most certainly not going away. And so understanding all of this is why it's been easy for me to hold. I'm going to outpatient anyone else. I will hold and hold and hold however long it takes to hit price levels that look appealing to me, and then I will readjust my exposure to the cryptocurrency asset class accordingly, because I do believe that a big crypto bubble is going to form here. I believe it will pop, and I believe that you will see another, whether it's, I don't know what the percentage for sure will be, whether it's 70, 80, 90%, whatever it ends up being, you're going to see that. And then it's going to start moving to the upside again after another bear market. And fine, rinse and repeat, whatever. That's perfectly fine. Bubbles occur in all asset classes: real estate, precious metals, the stock market, you name it. Bubbles do not mean that there's something wrong or scammy about an asset class. It just means that maybe people are overvaluing certain assets, and there needs to be an adjustment within markets. That's pretty much it. I mean, you could say a lot more about it, but just in a nutshell. So for me, just holding and holding and holding, that, to me, that is the winning strategy. That there's nothing super secret or more, I don't know, more fancy about it. It's a simple strategy: buy and hold. That's it. That's what it really is. I'm sorry, I don't have some super smart formula, but I don't think you need it. I think that history has shown, whether you're investing in the stock market or crypto, the people that hold and don't trade and don't react with emotion, those are the people that end up doing well. I think there's plenty of data on that. So that's it. That's my plan. And so if I'm wrong and it goes to zero, I'll lose everything, because I will ride this bitch to zero. But if I'm right, then eventually one day there will be a big candle and I'll start selling on the way to the top. Super duper. That's it. That really is it. But the rest to me, although it's enjoyable to follow because I have skin in the game, in the end it'll just be noise. That's it. Everything that happens in between, it's not going to matter. Either I'm right and XRP goes parabolic, or I'm not. And I think I'll be proven right, but time needs to pass and we'll just have to see. I'll wrap up there. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.